Can anyone give me a reason they believe time exists? Because we can measure it. How could we measure something that doesn't exist? Either a thing exists or it doesn't. The reason why we think time does exist is because we can measure it. We can measure a thing, it exists. If a thing doesn't exist, we can't measure it. Can we measure time? Then there's your answer, AJ. So if there's a see-through pipe that contains something that keeps going up and down, and I say one up and down motion of that is a second, and a second is time, I can measure it. Does that mean time exists? Claim, change/motion requires time. Why do you conclude that? Without time there can be no change. Why? Still doesn't answer why, all you're doing is rewording it. You're saying change requires time because time causes change. Circular, but whatever. Thank you for repeating what you believe is an answer. Okay, and what evidence do you have of this claim? Things change, thus time? Again, circular. No, it proves you believe in time just because. AKA for no reason. Claim. Change/motion requires time. Why? Without time there can be no change. I can do the same, look. Claim. Change/motion requires pixies. Why? Answer. Without pixies there can be no change/motion. Yay, now pixies are real and cause change/motion. This person gets it. Time is an abstract. It is imaginary. Time is an awareness equals information equals property. Made up from/about things changing. An object continually changing is called a and exploited as a clock.
And now something gets even stranger. And that is that Einstein thought that the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang, created all of space and all of time at once, in a big whole something. So every point in the past and every point in the future are just as real as the point of time you feel yourself in right now. Einstein believed that literally. One of his best friends died, and he wrote a letter to this person's wife, talking about how his friend still exists. Time is a landscape. And if you had the right perspective on the universe, you would see all of it laid out in front of you, all past, present, and future as a whole thing. And he said, you know, your husband, my friend, is just over the next hill. He's still there. We can't see him where we are now, but we are on this landscape with him, and he still exists just as much as he ever has. Einstein believed that you right now have been dead for trillions of years, that you haven't been born yet, that everything that's happened to you, if you could get the right perspective on the universe, you could see all at once.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
You can construct a view of the world in which the future is already there. And you can say, and physicists do say something very much like this, that in the fundamental laws of physics, there is no distinction between the past and the future. And so, if you're playing that game, you're essentially saying time as an independent thing doesn't exist. Time is just another dimension like space. So if a physicist comes to me and says, do some readjustment, face it, the future looks different from the past to you, but actually physics tells us it's the same, I at least acknowledge that I have an obligation to take that seriously, to listen to it. And physicists do argue about these things, and it's fair to argue about it.
I tried so hard.